Hi everybody. This is National Justice for Animals Week, so I did a little bit of research and I thought I would tell you about it while I'm here having an eye on. So let me just show you. This is all these lovely sinus stuff coming out, and I'm going to tell you all about it. So the website, if you're interested in learning more about this, is animaljustice.ca. They have a much different legislation in the States than they do here. So if you're live and you happen to catch this and you have any questions, feel free to post below. But I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what's going on here. There's a few big government issues that are going on right now. The first is the upgrade to Canada's animal transport laws. So animals that are processed for food are kept in trucks, and the idea is that the new laws are supposed to be better for them, but it still doesn't address issues that they're left without food or water or rest for lengthy periods because they are stuck in trucks and they can't do anything about it. And they're exposed to brutal weather conditions without any kind of warmth, and they're shocked with electric prods, which doesn't seem to be much of an improvement to me. But I honestly want to know how could they make it better? Put less animals per trucks, or hire more people to drive the trucks so that the animals don't have to spend all that time cramped up where they can't even move. But something has to be done because a lot of them are transported for days and weeks, and it's just absolutely disgusting. So that's the first one. The second is the issue about the dogfighting rings. So I don't know if you know, but last year, or 2015, sorry, 21 dogs were rescued from a dogfighting ring in Chatham. And the 3 people who are running the ring are facing dozens and dozens of charges. But the SPCA is ordering these pit bulls to be executed because they're too vicious to be rehabilitated, apparently. I mean, a lot of animal rights groups have stepped up and tried to take responsibility and say, if you give us the dogs, we will rehabilitate them, and you don't even have to do anything. You don't have to be a part of it. But our SPCA in Ontario is saying execute all of them. The part that bothers me the most is that the dogs are the victims. The dogs were forced to do all these things, and the owners get jail time while the dogs get executed, which doesn't make any sense to me. I understand that they're at a higher risk for aggressive behavior, but that doesn't mean they should be executed. I mean, heck, I'll volunteer to work with them as long as they're not executed. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. The pit bull ban in Ontario is an entirely different argument, and I'm not going to get into that because it makes me really mad. So we're going on to the next thing. There was a proposal. They actually got to speak at the Supreme Court about animal sexual abuse. And bestiality is still legal here. And the Court of Appeals, after a long process, decided to improve the law. They made the penetration of animals illegal. And something just fell down. We're going to roll with it. But I know this is an improvement, but it doesn't make it better. I mean, the animals deserve the same rights that we have. I'm not saying they have to be able to vote or, own land, but they should have their rights protected. And there aren't a lot of animal rights lawyers in Canada. There's probably only a handful. But there is a TED Talk I posted on Monday on my page if you're interested in watching that, about Canada's first animal rights lawyer and her position on how animals should be treated. My favorite part from that video is when she talks about how animals are the only sentient beings that don't have rights about how they're treated. I mean, the very, very base, yes, but past that, people can do anything with them and get away with it. Unless they're publicizing it. Then they're in trouble. So that's another issue. Puppy mills. Puppy mills in PEI were a big issue, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the backstory. In 2009, a pet store owner was arrested because he had a large group of animals, and he was obviously at a puppy mill. He was using them to make more puppies and selling them. And you would think in such a small place like PEI, people would figure it out. But he was charged eventually under the Companion Animal Protection Act. And it makes me so mad. Because all these people got together and complained, which is why he eventually got arrested. But they were complaining that the people who inspected the properties were improperly trained. There was a lack of enforcement of the laws, and the record keeping at the legislation company was inadequate. So in 2010, the Companion Animal Protection Act agreed to review the practices and revise their legislation, but then in 2001, there was more public attention to the issue, and they realized that no significant action had been taken on that. And that's as much information as I could find about that one. But it's just disgusting that people get away with it, and they can just pretend that, oh, it didn't happen, or oh, there was improper this or that, and they get away with it. The last issue, which I found on their website, which again is animaljustice.ca, is shark finning. And if you don't know what shark finning is, basically anyone who catches a shark, cuts off the fins, and sells them for shark fin soup, tosses the shark back in the ocean, and then the shark suffocates because it can't breathe. And that is allowed pretty much everywhere right now. There are some areas in BC and Ontario that are cracking down on it, but there isn't a lot of punishment in the terms of importation of illegally obtained shark fins is still legal in Canada. So even if they ban it here, they're not banning the actual practice, because the only place that's making a difference is we can't do that here if they ever eventually get there. But we can still import it and eat it, which is not doing anything for the sharks. So that bothers me. According to the website, a lot of the species are down 80% in population in the last 50 years, which is also very sad. And it's just, why do people not care? Why do they not make a difference? So my mom was reading a book last night, and she showed it to me, so I want to read a little quote to you. The book is called Goddesses Never Age by Christiane Northrup. There's a little quote about the animal section. It says, "Our relationship with our pets aren't just emotionally nourishing. They're spiritually nourishing for good and good for our health. Having a pet lowers your stress, your cortisol levels, and your blood pressure. Cats and dogs keep our heart chakras open and clear. They love us unconditionally, which humans aren't truly capable of without divine intervention. No wonder the amount of money we've spent on our pets has exploded. The image of the woman surrounded by cats being someone lonely and pathetic has to go. More often, the woman who has cats or dogs or birds or some other type of pet she's connected to is happy and less lonely because she's surrounded by unconditional love and affection." So why is it that we spend all these money on our pets, but we don't care about the welfare of other people's pets? So just some thoughts to keep you going. If you have any questions about anything that I talked about in this video, feel free to email me or comment below and I will look into it. But my ion is 11 minutes in, and we're just going to take a peek down here. Yuck. So that is orange for joints, and the brown is liver. Super fun. And there's Kaya. Okay, we'll turn it back around. Okay, so have a great Thursday, and I will be live again next week. Okay, bye.